Me.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go. Let's sing together.
And you let them sing too. It's almost like I see you kind of pull back a little in the audience is singing, especially with the performance I went to last, where you talked about Pete Seeger a lot, and you sang "Where Do All the Flowers Go," which touched my heart because it kind of reminded me of, like, you know, when I grew up in the '60s, '70s. You know, that was the hot song. Everybody knows the words.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and there's certain songs that you could just sing them, and bam, everybody's there.
Yeah.
Because they're folk songs now.
Yeah.
And the thing about Pete, we always used to joke that, like, when Pete does a concert, he barely has to sing because he sings the first couple lines and then he backs off and he does this and the people sing, and that's really always what it was all about for him.
Yeah.
He loved that so much.
He was very selfless.
He was
very selfless.
Really humble.
Yeah.
Which is amazing when you think. I mean, he was, you know, there he was at the Obama's inauguration with Bruce Springsteen singing "This Land Is Your Land."
There you go.
But yet he's just totally humble about it.
Right, exactly.
You know?
You always have to remember that you're basically human.
Yeah.
And you actually, just to digress a little bit, you are very involved in like your instrumentation, I'll say. And you play with this instrument sometimes, an old-fashioned washboard. How cool is that?
Yeah, this
Got to have a lot of rhythm to play this the right way.
came about because I played trash percussion. I played those buckets and all these different. I have a milk crate full of pieces of Metro North train tracks.
Okay.
The little nails and the little things, and they have different pitches.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine brought this to me. He said, I saw this in an antique shop and I thought of you. And so I kind of embraced it, and now in the folk world I show up with this everywhere, and folk singers give me the hairy eyeball and say, "Oh no, you're not going to play that thing."
Oh yeah, but I heard you play it a couple minutes ago before we started. I'm like, you can play that thing.
It's cool.
You have a lot of rhythm with this thing.
It's really,
you know, and you don't often think of folk singers as being like someone with rhythm. You've got tremendous rhythm to play this thing. I know it's not easy. Is it not as easy as it looks to play it well?
Yeah, it's when Matt Turk and I auditioned for the Music Under New York program to play in the subways with the banner. I didn't bring a guitar. I just brought this.
Okay.
And I think this might have gotten us in.
Yeah, I can imagine. You know,
there were members of the New York Philharmonic Orchestra who were at the audition, and who didn't get in.
There you go. You got in because of this. Yeah, well, you know, you're like, this is so organic in itself, you know, and your music is as well. I'm noticing your guitar also. Is that your favorite? It's a small one.
Yeah, I could never pick a favorite. I used to have one guitar, and now I have a whole bunch of guitars. But I really do love this. This was a gift for my 40th birthday from my friend Koji, who actually builds electric guitars in Peekskill, and he's since built me an electric guitar that I love. But this is
introduced me to all these people in Peekskill that I don't know.
Yeah, he would be a great guest on the show. He'd be really, you know, he's kind of quiet. He's kind of quiet, but
quiet geniuses.
Yeah, exactly. Great musician too.
I could imagine.
Really great musician.
I could imagine. So you play almost exclusively acoustic guitar as far as guitars. Do you ever play electric guitar? Do you ever get like? Do you ever get your inner Pearl Jam come out, or you stick with your?
No, this new band of mine, I bring 2 electric guitars, and that's it. No acoustic for me.
I would love to see some of that sometime.
It's fun, and I'm a bass player originally, so I still do that as well.
Okay, bass players definitely have rhythm.
Yeah, there's a lot of great jokes about drummers and bass players.
Yeah.
And bass players like to tell the drummer jokes, and drummers like to tell the bass. Like the drummer joke is, how do you know the drummer's at your door? The knock speeds up.
The what speeds up?
The
knock
on the
speeds
door
up.
speeds
Oh yes,
Now I'm gonna get angry phone calls from drummers.
Yeah, well, happy ones. Happy ones are appreciative ones. Yeah, okay. And that's okay.
But that's the bass player's role, is to sort of reel in the drummer and keep the time, and you know, and it's more the drummer's job to, the dynamics of the song are more the drummer's.
So as a solo artist, how is it, you find it easy to make that segue to play with a group? I imagine you're very generous in a group,
I
creatively.
I think part of it is just, I always remember to just play about a quarter of what I'm thinking about playing.
Okay.
If I play about a quarter of what I want to play,
okay.
that's just enough.
Okay.
So it's because, like, I don't think you can underplay, but a lot of people overplay.
Yeah.
So, and our bass player, Debbie Tusman, is actually a violin player, and she's new to bass. And she kind of came up to me after a show, and she said, "I'm just afraid I'm not playing enough." And I go see other other bands, and the bass players playing all this stuff, and I say, "Just don't worry, Deb. They're overplaying.
Yeah.
You're awesome. Just do what you're doing. It's great." And so that's kind of, I try to take my own advice in that sense.
But you have to also step back and put your ego on a back burner.
Yeah. But
to do that,
it's like anything. To be a part of something bigger than yourself is always, when you step back and really do it, it's really wonderful.
Yeah.
I think the way I'm able to really love playing solo is that it's that thing with the audience. It's like they're the band.
Yeah.
Get them singing a little, or you get them clapping their hands, and it's like, all right.
And everybody's happy at your shows. People are happy.
It seems like it.
You know?
I love to do things like, I was out there on tour, and I had a day off, and my friend is a pastor in Kalamazoo, Michigan. He moved out there, and he called me up. He said, "Look, I have a day group for mentally ill adults. Will you come and sing?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm there. I fit right in." And I went, and we did a 2-hour sing along.
Nice.
And it turned out to be my favorite gig of the whole tour. So it really depends on the people. Really, it's really, hey,
Lillian.
we have company.
Yeah, she wants to go on tour too. Yeah, so I think that music brings everybody together.
Yeah.
You know, we all know that. It's like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that a group of mentally ill adults. Yeah, that's the kind of work that will always be there for you, I imagine, for all of for all artists, because I think the music is highly therapeutic. Yeah. So, what are your plans? Tell me about like your albums that are coming out. You know.
Well, we're gonna get the Rock Band thing out as soon as we can. The Hot Rod Pacer, and I think probably I'll make my solo record and get it out in the fall.
Okay.
And I also have plans. I work in a duo called Gillen and Turk with Matt Turk.
Okay.
And we just did a show in town at the Bean Runner. We have plans at some point to sort of reconvene and get some songs together and try to make a record. So I just keep moving, just keep doing it.
That's great.
You know, and my latest album, Silence of the Night, is about 18 months old now. And so it's just, just kind of keep going, keep
moving forward.
Yeah, making the body of work and trying to get it out there, you know. So.
It's so important, you have to do these things. I'm really looking forward to your albums, very much so. I know that they're going to be super popular, just like you. You are very popular. It's usually the people that don't know that they're popular are most popular. Tell the audience your website that they can find you.
My website is fredgillenjr.com. That's Fred, GILLENJR.com.
Fred Gillen Jr. right here with us. Phil, thanks for coming. This
Thanks
was like a
me.
real pleasure. We'll definitely hear some of your music for sure. And I thank you for letting me do this interview with you.
Thanks for having me.
And it's quite an honor and a thrill, because you're more popular than you think you are. You'll have to come back again when the album comes out. Promise me that.
Okay.
And thanks again.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you everybody for coming to the show. I will see you next time. Bye.
That freedom highway, I'm walking down. That freedom highway, I'm walking down. That freedom highway, taking my time, 'cause if you run, they'll get suspicious. If you run, they'll shoot you down. You've gotta walk, your head held high, and you'll be freedom bound. I'm walking down that freedom highway. I'm walking down that freedom highway. I'm walking down that freedom highway. Taking my time, taking my time. If you fight, then they will beat you. If you fight, then you may die. You've got to stand and speak the truth.